companies go digital. Beyond a certain stage, enterprises will need AI solutions which are tailored to their needs and integrated into their business processes and systems. To support this, I will set aside up to $150 million for a new enterprise compute initiative. Under this initiative, eligible enterprises will be partnered with major cloud service providers to access AI tools and computing power, as well as expert consultancy services. This will help enterprises leverage AI more effectively in their transformation journey. Companies also need capital to execute their growth plans. We now have a more vibrant financing ecosystem backed by a growing network of angel investors, venture capitalists, and private equity firms. This is complemented by government investment funds which invest in promising companies alongside commercial partners like 65 Equity Partners and California Capital. Over the past 5 years, we have set aside over $1.8 billion to support enterprise growth through investment funds. Like other private equity funds, our investments generally span the 3 to 7 year horizon. To help enterprises with longer growth trajectories, we will deploy some of our funds as patient capital with longer investment horizons to ensure that promising companies have the resources they need to thrive. Globally, we have seen the emergence of a private credit market which offers innovative financing solutions to enterprises. But few of these private credit funds focus on Asia, much less Singapore-based enterprises. So we will introduce a new $1 billion private credit growth fund. This will provide more financing options for high-growth local enterprises, and the Minister for Trade and Industry will share more at the Committee of Supply. As enterprises scale up, they may also list on a stock exchange to access more capital. Larger companies with significant overseas revenues will typically choose to list abroad to be closer to their main consumer markets. We recognize and accept these as commercial decisions. But there has been feedback that the Singapore Stock Exchange is not attractive even for companies that are focused mainly on Singapore and Southeast Asia. And that is why we set up the Equities Market Review Group, chaired by Minister Chee Hong Tat, to strengthen the attractiveness of our stock market to such listings and investments. The review group has developed its first set of measures. They include several tax-related recommendations which have been submitted to MOF just in time for the budget. I accept their recommendations and will introduce tax incentives for Singapore-based companies and fund managers that choose to list in Singapore and grow their economic activities here. I will also introduce a tax incentive for fund managers which invest substantially in Singapore-listed equities to encourage more investment in our capital markets. The review group will share more details on its measures in the coming days. Third, to unlock our growth potential, we must invest in world-class infrastructure and find innovative ways to overcome our resource constraints. Singapore thrives as a hub economy, facilitating the flow of people, capital, goods, and ideas. To sustain this position, we must ensure excellent connectivity with the rest of the world, both physically and digitally. Development of the Tuas port is progressing well, and Singapore recorded new highs last year in vessel arrival tonnage, container throughput, and bunker sales. This reinforces our role as a leading maritime hub. We have achieved island-wide 5G coverage, and we are upgrading our nationwide broadband network to deliver speeds up to 10 times faster. This will enhance digital connectivity for businesses and individuals. Our air hub is another key pillar of connectivity. We will break ground for Changi Airport Terminal 5 in the coming months. When completed, Terminal 5 will expand our airport's capacity by more than 50% and will ensure that Singapore remains a critical gateway for global travel and trade. To ensure sufficient resources to develop our air hub, I will top up the Changi Airport Development Fund by $5 billion. With the President's concurrence, the government will also provide a guarantee through Changi Airport Group. This will help to lower the cost of borrowings needed to develop Terminal 5 and supporting infrastructure in Changi East.
Are you okay?
With every life saved, a new future unfolds. At SCDF, we put our body, our heart, and our mind into everything we do. Because the future is worth saving.
Besides infrastructure, we also need better solutions to address our resource constraints and enhance our economic resilience. A generation ago, our critical constraint was water. We tackled this head-on, developed new water, and built our water industry. Today, we face a different challenge. The industries of the future are artificial intelligence, semiconductors, biopharmaceuticals are highly energy intensive. To meet these growing energy needs and to bring down our carbon emissions at the same time, we will need more clean power. Expanding access to clean energy is therefore a major national imperative. One immediate solution is to import low-carbon electricity from the region. We are making progress on such electricity imports. We've started a pilot with Peninsular Malaysia and expanded the capacity of a power trading initiative with Laos, Thailand, and Malaysia. By 2035, we expect that about 1/3 of our projected electricity demand can be met through electricity imports. But beyond imports, we also need to have our own domestic sources of clean power to ensure greater energy resilience. Our options are inherently limited because we do not have the natural resources nor the land to meet our needs using hydro, wind, or solar power. We have been closely evaluating the use of low-carbon hydrogen for power generation, but there are inherent challenges in the production, storage, and transportation of hydrogen which make it hard to scale up in a commercially viable manner. One established low-carbon energy source that is used globally is nuclear power. We had considered the possibility of using nuclear power back in 2010. We assessed then that conventional nuclear technologies were not suitable for Singapore. But we continue to keep a close eye on nuclear energy developments and progressively build capabilities in nuclear safety over the past decade to keep our options open. Since then, we have seen significant advancements in nuclear technologies. One such development is that of small modular reactors, or SMRs, which have better safety features than conventional reactors. Presently, only a few SMRs have been deployed around the world, but many more could become operational by the end of this decade.